Now, this is our first lecture in the second term, paper EL 6503, Unit 3, Pulse Modulation Technique. Pulse modulation techniques. Now we already discussed about we know that there are frequency modulation, amplitude modulation, and also angle modulation. That means nothing but it is our phase modulation, right? In this amplitude and angle modulation techniques, both of these modulation techniques employ sine wave as a carrier signal. As a carrier signal, right? Since sine wave is used as a carrier signal, they are also termed as continuous wave. Continuous wave. Now we are discuss continuous wave as a CW. Continuous wave modulation techniques. This chapter deals with the modulation technique that employs pulse train as the carrier signal. Now here, instead of sine wave, we are using pulse train. What is pulse? This is your pulse. The pulse looks like this. Looks like this, right? This is known as pulse width. And if this is our starting point, upper, straight, lower, this is your complete one signal. This is your pulse period. Now here, pulse train works as a carrier signal. The pulse modulation techniques are broadly grouped into the pulse analog and pulse digital technique. So this pulse modulation technique, it is divided into two parts: pulse analog and pulse digital techniques. This chapter begins with the overview various pulse modulation techniques and comparison with CW modulation, that means continuous wave modulation. This is followed by a detailed discussion of various pulse analog modulation techniques. So in analog modulation technique, there is a three again changing of the amplitude, that means pulse amplitude, pulse width, and pulse position. See, when we are using sine wave, then amplitude, frequency, and phase. In the pulse, again pulse amplitude, instead of frequency we are changing the pulse width, and instead of phase we are changing the pulse position. These are the difference between the sine wave as a carrier and pulse wave as a carrier. Again, the last part of this chapter discuss pulse digital modulation techniques, which is namely pulse code, delta, and differential pulse code modulation techniques. Now we just introduce this chapter in terms of analog modulation techniques. The sine wave is used as the carrier signal, then the sine wave values are defined for all the instant of time, and hence analog modulation is also named as continuous wave, as a continuous wave modulation. Nothing prevents us from replacing the sine wave with another wave as the carrier. The most useful one that helps in advancing the communication field is the pulse train in place of sine wave. So here, as a carrier, we use pulse train instead of sine wave. Instead of sine wave, we are using pulse train as a carrier wave. On the similar lines of sine wave being characterized in terms of its parameter, so the sine wave, it is characterized in terms of amplitude, frequency and phase, right? The pulse train also characterized in terms of parameter, while the pulse, it is characterized in terms of amplitude, pulse width and pulse position, right? Like this, right? In sine wave, we change the amplitude, we change the frequency, we change the phase. But in terms of pulse, when we are using pulse wave as a carrier signal, then we change the amplitude, we change the pulse width, we change the pulse position of the pulse. Continuous wave modulation is obtained by varying one of the parameters. One of the parameters, these are the parameters, we vary any one of the parameter with respect to the message signal. With respect to the message signal. Continuous wave modulation is obtained by varying one of the parameter of the sine wave with the instantaneous variation of the message signal. Similarly, in pulse modulation can be obtained by varying one of the parameter of the pulse train with respect to the message signal. In sine wave, we vary either amplitude, either frequency or either phase. Same way, in pulse as a carrier, then we can change the amplitude, or we can change the pulse width, or we can change the pulse position. In pulse modulation, it is further classified as pulse analog and pulse digital. Pulse modulation, again pulse analog and pulse digital modulation. Depending on whether the parameter of the pulse is continuous or discrete in time. Continuous or discrete. Continuous means analog, approximate, and discrete means digital. Continuous means in each and every second, part of the second, we are getting the value. Discrete means in digital form, any particular value we are getting at any particular time. Collectively, all are termed as pulse modulation techniques. These are nothing but it is also termed as pulse modulation techniques. This chapter deals with the studying different pulse modulation techniques. Now, in case of pulse train, The pulse by themselves occur at a discrete instant of time. However, the parameters of the pulse, namely amplitude, pulse width and pulse position, amplitude, pulse width, pulse position, are continuous in nature. If amplitude of the pulse is made proportional to the message, then it is termed as pulse amplitude modulation. Now, if we change the amplitude of pulse change, then pulse amplitude modulation PAM. Alternatively, if width of the pulse is made proportional to the message, width, it is proportional to the, directly proportional to message, then pulse width modulation PWM, pulse width modulation PWM. Similarly, in case of pulse position is changed, then it is known as pulse position is directly proportional to message, then pulse position modulation PPM. It is known as. Hence, we are getting pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and pulse position modulation. Finally, the amplitude of the pulse can be approximately represented by a discrete amplitude value which leads to the pulse code modulation. Pulse code modulation. Further variation of pulse code modulation include delta modulation, and differential PCM, differential pulse code modulation, delta modulation and differential pulse code modulation. To summarize, in case of pulse analog modulation, time is discrete, but the pulse parameters are analog, whereas both time and pulse parameters are discrete in case of pulse digital modulation. This pulse digital modulation we are discuss later on. The major difference between continuous wave, the major difference between continuous wave and pulse modulation needs to be understood. This continuous wave modulation translates the message from baseband to the passband range. From baseband to the passband range and helps in transmitting it for a longer distance as described in the later chapter or earlier chapter. Alternatively, pulse modulation translates message from analog form to the discrete form. That is, continuously varying message information is now represented at discrete instant of time. Both form of the message will remain in the baseband itself. In the baseband. This is an important fact and should be in view when we are studying the various pulse modulation techniques. Hence, the word modulation forms the context of frequency translation in the misnomer in this case. In case of pulse modulation, it refers to the process of modifying the pulse parameter with respect to the message and nothing else. Pulse parameter, that means amplitude, width and position. These are the three parameters. Like sine wave, amplitude, frequency and phase. In pulse, amplitude, width and position. So the natural question then will be why pulse modulation is needed. The answer is, even though it does not help in frequency translation, it helps in other aspect of signal processing, namely digital representation of message signal, as will be discussed in the detail later on. But some of the pulse modulation techniques are fundamental to the digital communication field. Now we are discussing about the pulse amplitude modulation. Pulse amplitude modulation. Now in this amplitude modulation, the pulse analog modulation techniques are of three types. Pulse analog. Now we are discussing about analog modulation. Pulse analog modulation. It is divided into three types: PAM, pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and pulse position modulation. Right? The pulse analog modulation techniques are of three types: PAM, PWM, and PPM. This section describes each of them and also about the recovery of the message from them. That means when the signal it is modulated, either converted in PAM, PWM or PPM, it transfer from one place to another. Then again we want to convert this transmitted signal, we want to get back our message signal. That we will discuss in the last stage of this chapter. So first of all, we discuss about the pulse amplitude modulation. This is our first pulse amplitude modulation, first technique, pulse amplitude modulation technique. Now what is inside this, right? Pulse amplitude modulation is defined as the process of varying the amplitude of the pulse, varying the amplitude of the pulse in proportional to instantaneous variation of message signal, in proportional to instantaneous variation of message signal. Let us consider that the message signal will be given as Vm is equal to Vm sine omega m t. Vm, that it refers as message signal voltage. Vm, amplitude of the signal. Sine, that means it gives us the position or the figure of the waveform. Omega m, it is nothing but omega, that means 2 pi f, it is equal to frequency. So this shows the frequency of our message signal. And t, that means per second time. This is our message signal equation. This is nothing but it is our Fourier series equation. Right? If xt is the periodic signal with period t0, xt is our periodic signal with period t0. This is our t0 is our period. Then the information present in each period of the pulse train is given by P is equal to Vp when the time is 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to delta. 0 less than or equal to t, that means more than 0, time is more than 0, and less than or equal to delta. Delta is the width of the pulse. Delta is the width of the pulse and the leading edge of the pulse. This delta is nothing but width of the pulse, right? This is our first equation, second equation, and it is equal to 0, and it is equal to 0 when the condition is delta is less than or equal to t, which is less than or equal to t0 is the period. This is our condition. This is our condition. Equation 2 and equation 3 are our condition, where delta is nothing but delta is the width of the pulse, and the leading edge of the pulse is assumed to be coinciding with the starting of the interval in each period. Then the pulse amplitude modulated wave in time domain is obtained by multiplying the message with respect to the pulse train. Hence, the modulated wave PA, it is equal to P into Vm. P into Vm. What is this? The pulse amplitude modulated wave. This is our pulse amplitude modulated wave in the time domain is obtained by multiplying the message. This is our message with respect to the pulse train. This is our pulse train. Hence, the pulse amplitude modulated wave in time domain is obtained by multiplying the message with pulse train, and it is given as PA is equal to P into Vm. Now we compare the above two conditions. That means equation 2 and equation 3. This is our conditions. These 2 and 3 are our conditions. We get PA is equal to Vp Vm sin omega m into t, where the condition is 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to delta. This is coming from equation 2, and this is equal to 0 when the condition is delta is less than or equal to t, it is less than or equal to period t0, and this is coming from equation 3. Hence, we see what is the effect on the figure. So first of all, this is our figure. Right? What is this? This is our message signal. This message signal we want to transfer one place to another with the help of pulse. This is our pulse, right? So this message, it is inside the pulse. By varying the amplitude, the final pulse amplitude modulation, it is seen like this. That means there is a change in the amplitude. See, this is nothing but this is known as amplitude. So the final output, there is a change in the amplitude, and this final output changing in the amplitude depending on the amplitude of the message signal. See, here the amplitude is less, maximum, amplitude is maximum. Then here the amplitude is minimum, like this, right? So there is a change in the amplitude. This figure shows the message pulse train and the PAM signal. The amplitude of the PAM, that means pulse amplitude modulated signal, PAM. The amplitude of the PAM signal follow the message signal. This amplitude of PM signal follow the message signal, a contour and and hence its name. It can be shown that the spectrum of the PM signal is a sinc function present at all the frequencies. Of course, its significant spectral amplitude value will be in the low frequency range and tapers off as we move towards the high frequency range. From low frequency range to high frequency range, the amplitude is changing here. The message signal is a low frequency signal. Multiplication of the two for generation of PM signal result in the convolution of their spectra in the frequency domain. Hence, PM signals still remain the message spectrum in the low frequency range after the modulation. This is the difference between the amplitude modulation of the sine wave and pulse train. This is the main difference between the amplitude modulation of the sine wave and pulse train. Therefore, PAM is not useful like amplitude modulation for the communication. Alternatively, PAM is found to be useful in understanding the sampling process to be described. It is found sampling process. This sampling process we are discussing in the next second lecture. Thank you.